Ok, ci siamo? Sì? Ok. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gabriele Murano, the Sales and Product Manager of Bandera for the Flex Extrusion Die Technologies. I feel privileged to be here representing the company Bandera, and really thanks a lot to Valentina, Luca, Andrea and Ottavio for the organization of this nice event. The focus for the speech of today is the future of rigid and flexible packaging, above all on the PET and polypropylene, which are the two most important polymers destined to the food packaging sector, and in which Bandera has invested a lot in the last 15-20 years, developing new techniques of extrusion, calibration, calendaring, and so on. So we will have a preliminary view on the PET, generally speaking, and then I will focus the attention on the tray-to-tray business, which is really a current factor in the food packaging today, and then focus on the polypropylene, where we have our new series of machine, PP Top, destined to this particular material. So it was the 1999 when Bandera started the development on the PET techniques, thanks to the twin screw extruder that you can see here. It is, it's not really working, which is a patented technology by Bandera since 2009. The same year we have also consolidated our decontamination capability thanks to the demonstration on the no objection letter dated 119, dated 2009. The ability of this machine, the most important factor on this machine, is the fact that we can really work in a dryless condition with the humidity of the PET as an hygroscopic material up to 1.2 and 1.5%. The versatility of the twin screw extruder is allowing us to produce also CPET, PETG resin with the maximum quality, and also PLA and polypropylene and polystyrene. Always with the same screw design, the same machine with no screw change and no major modification to be applied. Great flexibility, the process is really robust, and it is demonstrated by the more than 300 lines supplied in the last 20 years to the major players in the world. We have different level of approach to the PET as a PET specialist, and so we have created some subfamiliaries on the Visco, which is the best way to produce higher viscosity material thanks to introduction of very brief and cheap microwave dryer in advance, and with the capability of reaching viscosity of the sheet higher than 0.72. The FC Plus family is something related to the FDA and EFSA regulation compliance, where we have created the so-called pure system, a decontamination, solid-state decontamination device, and with just 0.08 kilowatt-hour per kilo, in combination with our twin screw, we are able to produce a single layer sheet available for the food contact. Let's say the best seller is really the Eco family with more than 300 installations, as said before. This is really the most effective solution available in the market, and that's why, let's say, Bandera numbers are so great into this PET business. Now, to be a PET leader in the market means to stay up to date with the situation on the market. And today there is a big scarcity of PET post-consumer material coming from the bottle reclaiming chain because of the single-use plastic directive that recently approached our food packaging market. Which means that the bottle-to-bottle players are more, let's say, appreciated for the producer of PET flakes from post-consumer rather than the sheet producer. That's why, in order to avoid also the plastic tax, we have created the PET tray-to-tray solution, which is a PET monomaterial sheet with some particular additives and some particular structure made thanks to an inline coating machine, inline or offline actually, in order to create a sustainable and fully recyclable material, keeping the aesthetical characteristics, so transparency, no foggy, no carbonious stuff, and with the full recyclability in post-industrial and also post-consumer condition. But we have achieved this target in terms of product, but because we have to feel what the final customer, the final user is feeling, we need to create a sustainable solution, also industrial-wise. Therefore, we preferred to focus our attention on something that can avoid the distress on existing production line, and we have created an offline coating system by unwinding a standard PET sheet, either ABA multi-layer structure or single layer structure, and to coat with an additional flat die and a shear roll all the layers and all the additives that are obviously PET carrier based, that can allow the final sheet at the winder to be good enough in terms of oxygen barrier in comparison with the current condition with EVOH and polyethylene film lamination. This is a very important solution because, first of all, it is really innovative. It is not caring only about the final product, but is also caring about the existing condition of the customer site, and it is really fully compliant with the tray-to-tray condition. It's something that will be dramatically important for the future for the polyester market. Going ahead, we move to the polypropylene subject. The polypropylene is a fantastic polymer and is actually the main competitor of PET into the food packaging market. The polypropylene is a polymer that is able to resist to higher temperature where the PET cannot arrive. Actually, there is the option of CPET, but there are also other complications in the recycling chain for that. The polypropylene cannot be typically calendared, or it is dramatically difficult to calendar it below 300 microns, and this is the big challenge for all players. So in few words, in the market where we have a kind of a duopolio between PET and polypropylene, PET is typically still the preferred choice, and wherever PET is not able to arrive to a certain characteristics for the final application, the polypropylene is coming into force. For the polypropylene players, I mean, what we receive from the market, what we learn from the market by the polypropylene players is to find a way to be as similar as possible to the PET in terms of aesthetical characteristics and thickness range. Because even if the polypropylene is lighter than the PET, about 30% lighter, actually the fact that the minimum calendering ability is about 300 microns and the PET is about 150 microns, there is a big gap to be overpassed. So the main target for our study, for our R&D on the polypropylene is about dam gauging and aesthetical characteristics improvement. To do that, Bandera has created the soft touch technology that you can see here on top, and it is a very particular calendering system with a dual use. First of all, the typical calendering system is now foreseeing an additional roll behind the middle roll of the calendar that is able to calibrate in a gradual way the low thickness polypropylene in order to, let's say, relieve and not stress too much the polypropylene during the calibration phase, and with the capability to reduce as much as possible the thermic shrinkage during thermoforming and after the final product creation. In addition to that, the same calendar stack also foresee the possibility to become a cast film process production, by delivering the melt coming from the die, not between the nips, but on the top of the middle roll, with an air blade and a vacuum box. And so with the same instrument, people can run up to 220 micron in pure calendering, and up to 80 micron with the soft touch cast film process. Apart from the down gauging, in addition to the down gauging issue, we do have the transparency issue. Thanks to the way of calibrating the polymer during the calendering action, we are able to increase the transparency and the brilliancy of the final product, and we can create not anymore glossy and matte surface, but glossy and glossy. This is really enhancing the capability and the transparency of the polypropylene that is really similar to the PET. We have to remember that polypropylene, being a crystalline material, is very difficult to get transparency. Vice versa, PET being an amorphous material, transparency is one of the most important characteristics for the amorphous polymer. Therefore, thanks to the combination between the cast film soft touch process and the calendering process with alpha polypropylene calendar, we are able to satisfy both of these challenges. So thanks a lot for the attention. I hope you are enjoying the K-Show. It's been a fantastic edition up to present. For any additional information, Bandera is situated in Hall 17, booth C06 and 07, and I will stay here around for a while, maybe for a couple of beers, I don't know, huh? Available for your question. Thanks a lot, everyone.